Okay, today we're going to talk about the basic functions of the new BK M150 radio that ODF is installing in the majority of its vehicles. It's the new mobile radio of choice. So this is for the Northwest Oregon area only. Some of the buttonology on the programming of the radio could be different in different districts and different areas across the state. So today we're talking about the Northwest Oregon area M150 radios. Okay, when you first get in the vehicle and you turn it on, chances are the radio will automatically come on. They are wired into the ignition, most of them. If they don't come on automatically and the screen is blank, this button here is your on, off, and volume control. Okay, it's a push on, push off. So the first thing you should check, of course, if your radio is not on. So the radio comes on. This is your on-off volume control. Okay. The first line that you'll see should have the channel name in it. That should be familiar to you. In your district, you'll have Forest Grove Direct, or Buxton, Bald Heaven, South Saddle, and so on. So those are should be recognizable to you as the radio channel. The second line is the zone name. Zones are now what we used to call groups. We now call zones. Every district in the Northwest area or unit has got its own zone. All of the old channels that you had are in your zone. We have not deleted any channels. Everything is still there. So all the channels you're used to looking for should be contained in your zone. The third line here is the channel number that helps you keep track of where you're at in the lineup in your zone, so you can know what channel you want to operate on. Okay. The buttons across the bottom of the screen are programmable buttons. They are touch screen or touch buttons, so that you can just touch any of those. We'll go across here. E-scan is going to be to turn your scan on and off. That turns the channel scan on and off. Okay, that'll be channel scan will be indicated when it's on by a Z, a little Z with an arrow on it on the top right here, with a small C next to the Z. That simply means that your channel scan is on the radio. Okay, the second button here is the nuisance channel delete. That is used for when you're driving down the road and all of a sudden maybe RedNet or TAC1 starts squelching out on you, loud noises, things come over the radio. While you're receiving that nuisance, you press this delete button one time. It will temporarily take that channel out of your scan list until you cycle your key on and off again. It will come back into your scan list and hopefully not be a nuisance from that point on. But that allows you to not have to turn your radio volume all the way down to get rid of a nuisance reception. The third button is a scan button. We'll go over that in a separate video, and that'll be how to add or delete channels to your scan list and turn your scan on and off. The zone button is also utilized to navigate between zones. If I press the zone button, I'll bring up a zone list for the radio. That brings us over here to our circular arrow button. It's just what you would think it was. This is how we scroll up and down or sideways in the radio to select what we want to select. As you can see, I'm in the zone select menu. You'll see Astoria there, South Fork, Tillamook, Forest Grove, and so on. When I get to the zone that I want to operate out of, I simply press enter, and now I'm in that zone, Forest Grove District, as indicated by the second line right there. Okay, the menu button up here on the top will be utilized to go into all of the different functions of the radio as you learn to use it. Okay, we'll go into that later, but that's the way we access any of the other functions. All right. Across the top, this blue arrow between the brackets that you see along the very top there, that simply indicates that we're on a direct channel and not on a repeater. That's all that means, is that Forest Grove Direct is a direct channel. If I go to a channel that is a repeater, such as Buxton, you'll see that arrow go away. That means it transmits and receives on different frequencies. So that's what the blue arrow indicates. The H will be present on most all of the radios in the fleet. That indicates high power. Most all of them are programmed to be the highest power they can possibly be. The only time that I might lower the power of a radio is if there's a desk unit that the power supply can't provide enough power for the 100 watt operation. So the H just simply means high power. And as indicated before, the small c next to the Z with an arrow means that our scan is on. If I want to turn my scan off, press the E-scan button. Channel and priority scan go off. You'll see that Z and the arrow went away. The yellow highlight simply means that that's the last button I have pushed on the screen. Okay? Turn the scan back on. Come over here. This is the channel button. This is all this button does is changes channels within a zone. It doesn't change zones. It doesn't cursor the arrow. It doesn't enter anything. All it does is change channels within the zone. Okay, it's not a push, it's simply a turn. Arrow pad, as we've seen before, will navigate us up and down, left and right across any sort of screen functionality that we need. The green button here is an enter button. That's all that is for OK. The orange button up top will go over command zones in a different video, but this orange button will be utilized for you to set up a custom zone. Should you see necessary to create a command zone, generally during fire events or even during spray events or plantings, helicopter operations, whatever, if you want to narrow your list of channels down and operate out of a smaller zone that you custom create for your event, you'll do that with this orange button here. The green house button down on the bottom right hand side is the home channel button. If you want to have a channel that no matter where you go in the radio, you want to navigate back to that channel, it's like a reset button to get you back home. That's what this button does. To select that, all we would do is press and hold this. If we're on the channel that we want to be our home channel, we'll press and hold this button. Home channel set. So now wherever I go in the radio, if I press home, I'm back to Forest Grove Direct. Okay? Microphone real quick, pretty common sense. Push to talk is on the left hand side over here. There are 3 buttons over here on the side that you normally will not use during normal operation. If we do, we'll go over that later on in a separate video. The arrow pad is identical to the one up here on the control head, so you can use the arrows to navigate. OK button operates just like the OK button or the enter button on the control head. The keys here are disabled currently so as to not accidentally activate or change anything. The button keys at this time are inactive. So that's the basic controls of the M150 for Northwest area.